Okay, I want to talk to you about something that I call aspire. I'm going to read a little excerpt from you from something that I wrote many years ago. Aspire is less something we achieve and more something that our hearts desire. The man who aspires to make great art or compose great music is not inclined to stop once he has made a beautiful sculpture or orchestrated a great musical movement. To the contrary, these accomplishments are what ignite and fuel the flame that burns within him. These flames, like the candle in a dark room, illuminate the precious truth and affirm what we have felt all along, that we do aspire. Success is the mitzvah of the human soul. It's the ratification of our belonging to be more. Managers are directors, not correctors. Staunch corrective behavior is destructive to the motivational fabric of an organization or home environment. The perpetual reprove of a manager or parent is like having sand in your carpet. Every step you take wears out the fibers until all you have is tattered and worn remnant of what you used to be. Directors, on the other hand, spend most of their time looking for ways to extract the creative juices from the actor. They correct, but they also encourage. As I was thinking, and this was a book I wrote that didn't turn out to be much, I think I might have actually included this in your book, now that I've read it to you. But I wanted to elaborate on it a little bit, because you have a choice to make. And I think good people could be very misdirected and spend a lot of time and energy doing something that would be not as effective as they think. Mainly, they can believe that inspiration is their job. And it definitely is something you can do for people. You can be inspiring. You can talk with people and motivate them by encouragement and setting great goals for them and being excited with them and for them. And I'm not dismissing that. But I think if that's your primary view of what motivation is, to kind of be a motivational speaker to people all the time, you're going to find that you'll run into periods of disillusionment because you simply don't have the capacity or energy to sustain that kind of performance forever and ever with everyone that's responsible to you. So rather than looking at it as your responsibility, though you care deeply about their motivation, recognize that motivation comes from the person. It comes from you. If you're motivated, that's yours. And I have my own motivation. And I ask students all the time in class, how many of you, when you dream of your future, you'd characterize that dream as something great? You dream of greatness, and everyone raises their hand. Yeah, I dream of greatness. How many of you dream of mediocrity? Well, a few hands. Some people kind of misinterpret the question or something. The truth is that most people never intend to go to work and be mediocre. They don't have those intentions. They don't have those dreams. They don't have those desires. I want to be lazy and do nothing in my life. Nobody's like that anymore. Not college educated, progressive individuals like you who are making such sacrifices now for your future. You are going to work to build a career and a life around that. It's intensely important, and your success makes a big difference. You have no intention of being lazy or unmotivated, but some of you will have a career where you're lazy and unmotivated, and that's your problem for sure. You shouldn't do it. On the other hand, as a manager, that's a manager's problem, because if I'm your manager and you're unmotivated, then your work performance is suffering and I need to do something about it. I can inspire you sometimes, for sure. It's like jump starting a battery. It gets the car started, but you can't drive down the road with the jumper cables connected. So at some point, you got to disconnect those, and the car's got to generate enough electricity on its own to sustain a moving vehicle. And the same, I think, is true with employees. Inspiration is wonderful, but you need to understand that the key to lasting levels of motivation lies in that person. And what we can do as supervisors, managers, friends, colleagues, parents, spouses of those people is we can help them to see the meaningfulness in their work and to see the potential for greatness and encourage that. Not the specific goals, not just telling them what to do, but be supportive in that way and remind them about their dreams and how what they're working on now, what they're trying to achieve now, will be helpful in reaching their big picture accomplishments, the long-term accomplishments. I have a picture of a big, beautiful oak tree. It's a silhouette on this little book cover that I made many years ago. I love the picture. I took it in Beaufort, South Carolina, and I love it and used it in this for this book cover because I think it took so long. It was that oak tree must be 300 years old or something. The trunk is huge and the branches spread out like that. I think oftentimes in our lives, the reason that we lose a focus on motivation, on our aspirations, is because we are living up in a small part of the tree. We're somewhere, but we're not seeing the big picture. We don't see the roots system at all. It's all underground, but the root system for a tree is critical to its survival. The roots are what hold it up. The roots are what pull the nourishment in. So rather than looking just at the beautiful tree in the sky, recognize how deep it goes and how much root structure had to grow to form the foundation for that beautiful tree. The same is true in our lives, in our working lives, and the working lives of the employees that you have around you. Oftentimes, we lose sight of the root growth that's happening, and we need to be reminded of that. Sometimes we face difficulties in our careers. We're forced to develop new skills. I'm having to do it right now by talking to my camera with a light box in my home instead of in front of you like I've been doing all these years. And what drives me to do this, one of the things that motivates me the most, is not that I've been asked to do it, not that I'm paid to do it, but that I recognize there may be a skill set in this process that I can acquire that will be deeply valuable to me as a professor or somewhere else in another walk of my life, by having to sit and learn how to talk in this way to myself, essentially. And that, although I don't see the application directly, I don't plan on being any kind of YouTube star or anything. I hope this stuff isn't on, open YouTube. I see the potential for it. I see that I could grow in a way that might be wonderful and valuable to me and people around me. And so that's inspirational. It's what keeps me going. My own aspirations. I want to be great in every way that I can be great in my life, don't you? And if you and I are that way, isn't it likely that most people that come into our organizations have that same mentality? They want greatness. Give it to them. Give them the opportunity. Give them the skills and the opportunities. Delegate responsibility to them. Help them see the meaningfulness in the work that they do, how it contributes to the big picture in your organization. Help them to feel proud of the work they do. Aspirations, I think, are the key. Give it some thought. I hope it's helpful for you. See you next one.